Hey. Welcome to another episode of Evolving Perspectives. My name is Mattea Elise, your podcast host, and on this podcast, we dive deep into the stories of everyday people, discussing the hurdles they face and the triumphs they've achieved. We have real, raw conversations where we laugh, we cry, we uncover the incredible resilience within us all. From overcoming personal setbacks to navigating life's unexpected twists, each episode that you tune into is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to persevere and thrive. Tune in as we share moments of vulnerability, inspiration, and ultimately empowerment. Get ready to be uplifted and inspired as we showcase the unwavering strength of the human heart on Evolving Perspectives. Chime in. Hey, and welcome to another episode of Evolving Perspectives. My name is Mattea Elise, and I'm your podcast host. And yes, we are here for yet again another amazing episode. I am super excited to come with you or to speak with you all today because I am actually on this particular episode by myself. Every single season, I normally open up the season, or at least sometime during the season, do a solo episode. And Season 3, we just literally hit the ground running. I mean, the opening episode was simply spectacular, and every episode afterwards has just been so amazing. And I said to myself the other day, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have not done a new year, new you, what's going on, hey y'all episode since season 2. So I said, you know what, I need to jump in here and just talk to my people, my epic fam, my evolving perspective inner circle. I had to come on and just talk to you, just me and you, just kind of bring you up to speed. So first of all, happy new year, happy new you, all the things. I'm going to jump right in. You know, last year at the bottom of the year in December, I released my first devotional. And it was something that I had kind of been working on for a little while. I would work on it and put it to the side and pick it up and put it down, and finally got the push to go ahead and move forward. And as I was preparing for the devotional to be released, I created a private Facebook group on Facebook, on social media, and it was for us just to come together, just to have a space of like-minded people who were ready and trying to prepare themselves for the new year. We all know that in the political climate that we are in right now and all the things that's going on, this year has been quite challenging for a lot of people. And last year, as we were closing out the year, I really felt the Lord really sharing with me that, Mattea, this is the year that we really need to lean into community. And I didn't quite understand it then, but I definitely understand it now. And I had some people, I shared it with the people in the group, and, you know, a few people were a little bit hesitant or resistant, or what does community look like? Who are those people? Who are my people? And as we were preparing to walk into 2025, I did give them a challenge. And the challenge entailed or encompassed a few different things that I wanted them to do. One was, and this was not anything that I came up on my own. I kind of tweaked it. I had read some things online, and I challenged the group with it. But one of the things was to write a letter to yourself. And some people were like, what am I writing a letter? What am I saying? And it was to do like a year in review. And the reason that I was very intentional about sharing with them the importance of writing the letter to themselves was because so many times what we go through and what we experience in life overshadows. And when I say go through, of course, those trials and tribulations of our life overshadow the moments and the pockets of time where the rays of light shine through in our life. And so I wanted them to go back and really revisit every single month. And some people, were like, well, I don't remember what happened in January and I don't remember what happened in May. And so I challenged them. I said, well, I want you to either go back on your social media profiles and take a look at what you posted. But also maybe you could take a look at the pictures that you took that may be saved in your phone to revisit, whether it was, a dinner date with your spouse, or a coffee meetup with an old dear friend, or, a trip to the movies, or out to a play, or to the opera, whatever that thing was. And I wanted them to really revisit the entire year so that you could really sit with, wow, I did have some challenges, or wow, this was maybe not my best year, but there were some great things that happened to me, even in the midst of me going through certain things. And so that was part of the challenge. And so I would encourage you as a listener to maybe do that yourself. I know we're still in the beginning of the year, but you can go back from just say January of 2025 to January 2024 and recount all the things that have taken place in your life. The other reason that we decided to do that, or I challenged them to do that, was because based upon what took place in your life, in the year would really set the tone of what you wanted your 2025 to look like. And so that was the other reason. So there may have been things that you started that you were not able to complete for whatever reason, or things that you kind of just had in your head that never really came out through written word or through the actual manifestation of whatever that thing was. And so this kind of gave you an opportunity to really sit with and revisit those things. The other thing we did was we decluttered. And it was so funny because all the things that I was sharing with them, I was going through myself. And one of my major things that I was trying to work on, I had been working on for a while, and I kept telling my husband, I'm like, listen, I need to get my closet under control. Like, this closet is ridiculous. I got to get this. It just needs organization. It needs this, and it needs to function properly. And I had been saying that for several months. And finally, I was able to get my closet together. I purged some things. I organized the closet. And so I challenged all those in the group to start decluttering some areas of your life, whether it's a garage, whether it's that spare room, even the junk drawer that we have in our kitchen. Sometimes it just has stuff in there that we don't even know what it is. It's just stuff, even going through those things and getting rid of things that no longer serve you. I remember years ago, I used to watch this show, and the host of the show was Marie Kondo, and she had this whole philosophy on organization and decluttering, and it really was based upon keeping things that evoke joy and discarding things that do not. So whether that is a picture, whether that was a thing, whether it was an outfit, whether it was clothes, jewelry, whatever, she would always say, especially when it came to clothes, pull all your stuff out, try it on, or at least put it in your hand. And what is the emotion that's associated with that particular thing? And sometimes people was holding on to something that, of course, they would never, ever wear again. And they were holding on because of the person who may have given it to them, or it may have been, a season in their life that, was special or whatever. And her thing was, if it does not evoke joy, you need to let it go. And sometimes we're holding on to things that we think have significant value. However, they're quite weighty, and they're weighing you down, and they're not allowing you to live out your full potential because of the heaviness that those things are connected to, right? And so I would encourage you to do that. The other thing that we discussed in the group was talking about connection. And connection and community was really big for me and was really on my heart as we, were walking into 2025. And, I challenged them to not just think about who their community was or who they would be linking up with, but I also challenged them to really think about who was it that God wanted them to serve this year. Sometimes we often think about or have this posture of, I need people that can help me and do for me, and what can I get? But sometimes it takes us sitting still and really thinking about not just what can serve me, but how I can serve others. And so I challenge them to really think about, their Rolodex of people, whether it was coworkers, whether it was, a local shelter, whether it was a community group, your church or whatever, to really think about who you needed to connect with this year. And whether that was not about you just, giving your all and you just being depleted. It wasn't about that, but really, how can I pour into the life or the lives of other people? A lot of us are so full of so much wisdom, so much education, so much love, so much joy. And we are literally overweight. We're obese because we have not released what is on the inside of us for other people to be able to take advantage of, and not take advantage of in a negative way, but they need that because their life is void of those things. And so I would challenge you to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go back because I wrote the devotional, and it is living in the moment while enjoying the journey. And I wrote that because it's not just a regular devotional like, okay, today we're going to do da-da-da-da, and day 2 we're going to do da-da-da-da. But it really was intentionally wrote for us to slow down and to live with intention. And one of the things that I have really been leaning into, I guess you could say, for this year is me being in tune with my emotions and my body. And what do you mean by that, Mattea? There are things that I often see, whether it's on the news or even the engagement that I have with other people, that often will take me down into this downward spiral. Because I am a person that is full of compassion and I want to see the best for others. And often it has been to my demise because I've wanted things for other people more than they've wanted it for themselves. I'm going to sit there right there. And I've given my all and sacrificed so much so that other people could live their best life, when the reality is they didn't really want to live their best life. Where they was at is where they wanted to be. And so it has made me emotionally exhausted at times. And so I had to really, when we talk about, it's often discussed about, I'm setting boundaries. I'm cutting these people off. I had to not just set boundaries when it came down to people or situations, but I had to set boundaries around my emotions. What do you mean by that, Mattea? There are times when I can get so emotionally exhausted. And when I feel that way and I feel myself going that way, I will stop, I will pause, and I will say to myself, Mattea, you get to choose how much and how long you want to engage with this particular thing, person, or situation. You will not get yourself bent out of shape and out of whack over one particular person, situation, challenge, or whatever. So I had to learn, and I'm still learning every single day, because we often are very reactive people, right? And sometimes it's good to be reactive, because it wouldn't be a good thing if somebody told you something, the house is on fire, and you just like, oh, okay. So sometimes you need to be reactive. But even in being reactive, which is a great analogy, a house is on fire and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to do something. And you go running into a house full of flames. Of course, yes, your instinct is to save whoever's in the house, but you saving other people you could lose your own life. So it's like taking those time to pause and stop and really strategically mapping out a plan of what it looks like to engage with people or situations or whatever's going on. And so even with the devotional that I wrote, it is a 30-day devotional. It is 30 days of faith, fuel, intention. And it is not just, I'm doing this in January. I'm going to revisit this in January. I'm going to revisit it in March. I'm going to revisit it maybe in April, May, June, every single month. Because every day it gets you to a point where it's like, okay, let me pause. Let me reflect on what went well for me today. I'm not thinking about, oh, my life in general is in shambles. I am sitting with today and I'm saying, what happened today? What went well today? What could I have done differently today? What made me feel good today? And so when we do that, we learn to appreciate the things that are going well for us, but it also gives us a perspective on how to challenge and how to walk with or partner with the challenges that we also have in life. And so I want to encourage you to, of course, purchase the book. It is available on Amazon, and I'll make sure the link is in the information. But make sure you're utilizing it. It is definitely a tool. And it's so funny because I had a few people to purchase and they said, Mattea, I was thinking this was going to be one of those devotionals that's so deep and, lots of wording and, long passages. It's so simple, but it's been so profound. And I really believe that there is so much power in the simplicities of life. And so this tool, the devotional, is definitely an opportunity for you to sit with your day and to sit with your emotions and to sit with your feelings and to sit with the things that are going on in your life and really map out a plan of how you want your life to be mapped out and what it's going to look like. We all know that in this life, we will have trials. We know that. We know that trouble is going to come. We know that we're going to experience losses and we're going to grieve and we're going to go through those things. But there are also so many beautiful things that are happening to us around us. And sometimes we have to just sit with what's going on so that we can really appreciate those moments and those opportunities of joy and peace and happiness and love. And so I want to encourage you to definitely do that. And as we move forward, and it has been, like I said at the beginning, very challenging walking into 2025. And I know for myself, no matter what side of the coin you're on, it has been emotionally exhausting. So even there may be times when you need to limit your social media intake. You need to limit, your intake of the news and things like that. Of course, you need to be informed. You need to, know what's going on. But we all know that we can go down this rabbit hole when it comes to social media. You look at one thing and then it leads you to something else. And next, it's 2-3 hours later and you haven't moved from that one spot. So those are the things that we're referring to. So I would challenge you, to protect your peace. Protect what you're seeing, protect your eye gates. I have not in the past, and it's so crazy because I stay pretty busy between, working and running a business and my children and just things going on. I don't have a lot of leisure time, like some people, when they come home from work or whatever, it's like I cook dinner and I watch TV until it's time for me to go to bed. I very rarely watch TV or movies or anything. And my clients are always like, oh, have you seen this show? And I'm like, no, what channel does that come on? Because I just don't know because I don't watch TV like that. But over the course of even the last week or so, literally, right? I made a decision, I'm going to watch something that's just pure entertainment. It is not making me angry. It is not making me frustrated. It is solely for entertainment purposes because I've recognized, number one, I didn't have any of that in my life. Although I do a lot of things that bring me a lot of joy, I just have never been like a big TV follower buff person. So It's just not my thing. But I've committed to trying to at least watch something that is what like I like to say mindless. I don't have to critically think unless it's a mystery, and I do like those. But I don't have to like think critically, or it's nothing that's gonna make me all wired or whatever. And so I've decided to take that on. And so even in those small little things, I'm choosing to celebrate me. I'm choosing joy. I'm choosing to, honor my feelings and honor how I can be so emotionally overwhelmed and stimulated that I need to do something that is not going to make me be that way. And so I would challenge you to do the exact same thing. So as we go into this next month, because we're now ending up February and March is already here. First of all, how did we get here? I feel like we just blinked and the ball was dropping for New Year's. Like, how in the world did we get here? I don't even understand how we got here, but like literally, I feel like it's flown by. We're already getting ready to walk into March. And so sometimes when it comes down to New Year's resolutions and setting goals and all those things, we do those things at the beginning of the year. And it's funny because I was talking to my niece, and we were just sharing about going to the gym and getting back into the gym. This was at the beginning of the year. And so, or at the end of last year, she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get back, the holidays, da, 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 da. And so I said, when you going back? She said, oh, I'll go back like on January the 7th, a random day. And I was like, January the 7th? She was like, yes, because the first 5-6 days, people are really in there. By the 7th day, they over it. I'm like, the 7th day, give people some credit. And we were just laughing about it. But the truth is that's how it is. You're so gung-ho about, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to lose that weight and I'm going to, write my book and I'm going to start, filling out applications. And you're so gung-ho. And then by the 10th day and the 15th day, it's almost as if it's non-existent. So I want to encourage you and challenge you to stay motivated throughout this year and do whatever is necessary to stay motivated. And whatever that looks like for you, whether it is having an accountability partner, whether that is joining, just say, I don't know, a writer's club or something that keeps you, of course, again, accountable, or joining forces with a friend to work out, whatever it is going to take, recognize what it is, what that thing is to keep you motivated, to keep you wanting to go on and do more, and not just do more because we're trying to fill our lives up with stuff. But so many times we start things, but we don't complete them. And so this year I said to myself, Mattea, you have had so many things that have come through your mind, and you've allowed fear and life and all the things to get in the way. And this year will be different. And so I am super excited that this year has definitely been different. Like I said, we started the year off with the devotional, which has been a blessing to so many, and it continues to bless me every day. In addition to that, I hosted my first event. And when I tell you all, I was so nervous about that event because I'm like, oh my gosh. And I've gone to events my entire adult life. And so I know that there are logistics that goes behind it. But when you're the one handling the logistics, you're like, okay, wait a minute, this is more than what I bargained for. Like, I had an idea, but all these pieces that I'm having to put together, this is a little bit more than what I wanted. Because it's a lot, right? And so I hosted my first event, which was a prayer board event. It was simply amazing. I honestly wish I had, and I have some video footage of it, but I almost wish I had somebody there recording the entire thing because it was so special. And the people that came, and I had so many people to come from out of town, and drive 4 or 5 hours to come. And it just was a special time. And, I actually will be hosting that again in Greensboro, North Carolina. So I would love for you all to join me in March in Greensboro, North Carolina for our prayer board experience. It is something that it is a very intimate moment. It is not one of these where it's going to be 50 people there. That's not what this is. It's a very intimate space of people who will come. We will be setting our intentions for the year, because people get off and you need a little reminder. So we'll be setting our intentions and following through those things for the rest of the year. In addition, of course, we'll have food and networking and just community and fellowship, and we'll be making the prayer board. So it'll be a special, special time, and I can't wait to see you all there. Please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. It is limited space, so we can't accommodate everybody, but don't miss out on this amazing move. I want you to be there. I have some other things that are coming up for this year. My husband and I will be doing a marriage day. It's a 1-day intensive. And I would love for you all to meet us there as well. It will be in Hosky, North Carolina. And please feel free to hit us up about the details on that and how to register and all the things. So I am just so excited about this year and, all the things that is happening. It has been a very long time coming, but I'm super excited about where we are and where we're going to go. We're trying to grow. I am trying to grow this podcast and have more guests on and have more people and have more opportunity. And a lot of people have asked me, oh my gosh, Mattea, I love your podcast. How can I support you? In the link in every episode, you'll find a link that has Buy Me a Coffee. And it is a website that is specifically designed for podcasters and creatives to receive support from the general public. And it just provides funds for us to continue with the broadcast and you can use, of course, the funds for your materials, for your equipment, whatever things are associated with what you do. And so if you would like to be of support to this podcast, I would love for you to do that. The link is, like I said, in the information. You can find it there. But above all things, the biggest compliment you can ever do for us is make sure that you're listening, you're downloading, you're subscribing, you're sharing us with all of your family and friends. You're tuning in every single week. You're providing us feedback, and you're letting Apple Podcasts and YouTube and all the other outlets that we're on that you like this content, that this content is great, and to keep it coming. And we cannot do that, and I cannot do that unless I have your support. So I am soliciting your support. So whether you support us financially or not, just sending us a link, a like, or liking of the podcast and sharing a review, any of those things definitely help as we continue to progress with this podcast. I am getting ready to wrap it up for this particular episode. This was a short one because I'm on here by myself, of course, but I wanted to just let you know how I have thoroughly enjoyed you all rocking with me throughout this season, which is season 3. It has been a beautiful exchange with the guests we've had. So if you have not availed yourself to the episodes for season 3, make sure you go back and listen to them because they are simply spectacular. These episodes release every other Monday. And make sure you are tuning in and make sure you are listening, and not just listening. You know how I always say, if you've been listening to this podcast at all, that this podcast is not just about entertainment, but it is about encouraging you, motivating you, enlightening you, giving you information, and making you have those aha moments in your life. And so I hope and pray that the things that are shared here are so very special that they definitely do make an impact in your life. So I say all that to say, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And as I always say on every single episode, always remember to keep evolving. Until next time, you all be easy. Thank you again for tuning into Evolving Perspectives. Remember to like, subscribe, download, and share with your friends and family about our episode that releases every single Monday. And always remember to keep evolving. Until next time, be easy.